Alright, so here's a short demo presentation of my prototype for the scrolling interactions. So yeah, I implemented different kinds of interactions for scrolling in virtual reality, both from games and also ones that are common in HCI. So yeah, let's start with the game ones. So this is the first one. So this is basically wheels, and this is kind of a selector that is inspired by an interaction I found in the game A Township Tale. So you can basically spin it like this, and you can also have this inertia that keeps the wheel spin both of them at the same time. And there's also kind of different visuals for these. So there's this handle object that looks exactly the same, it just has a slightly different collider. And yeah, both of them are inspired by that. And then there's the next one, which is this sliding selector. And yeah, this one you can just bring to the each of the edges, and it will basically scroll in that direction. And it will also select the item that is within this field. So yeah, you can see the information on that on there basically. Yeah, then next up I have the direct interaction. So this is similar to like a smartphone screen, for example. So I can just basically move the screen like this and select by simply poking an element like this. And there's also a far away version where you have these kind of selecting circles that you can then like grab to move the list around like this. And also again select with a simple like finger click in this example. Um, yeah, and lastly for the hands, there are these buttons that are kind of a mimic of pure button interaction, which is obviously not possible if you only have hands as controllers. So I can use these buttons to move in these directions. So these are basically the continuous ones that just keep scrolling. And also change the replay speed because the default is quite slow here. So like this basically, and then there's also the discrete ones that basically scroll a single item in the direction of the arrow instead, like this. And yeah, lastly, there's one kind of experimental interaction I made, which is this kind of sphere, which is like loosely inspired by one I saw in a paper. And yeah, this one you can basically turn and grab like this and will scroll in that direction. Although I personally think at least this version is a bit cumbersome compared to the other techniques here. But yeah, there's that. And also, all of these techniques are in fact working with controllers as well. So I can grab the sphere with the controller just as well. And yeah, there's also some additional things that are possible on the controller. So first up, I also obviously was able to map the actual buttons in this case. So here, for example, the joystick here moves the direction. Right now the speed is quite fast. But yeah, the speed is also dependent on how much you press it. So right now I'm basically barely pressing it. And then kind of also pull it all the way and it gets like way faster. Like this. And I can also use these X, Y, and AB buttons to scroll up and down by one item similar to these buttons instead. So yeah, both of these versions basically have a mapping on the controller directly. And I think the only thing that also is a bit different is the ray interaction on the controllers. So here we have an actual ray visual, although yeah, the actual interaction is pretty similar. It's just kind of displayed a bit differently. And personally think it's a bit easier to control on the controller version. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening.